with that, the motion before the House tonight is this House believes that laughter is the best medicine. I look to the first speaker, Angela Channell, to open the case for the proposition.
That's setting some real expectations, a real Chekhov gun situation. Now, Oxford Union, are we well? I said, are we well? Now you'll notice that although this is a formal black tie debate, I did in fact start my speech in the style of a middle-aged DJ at a primary school disco. We're gonna lean into that. Repeat after me, say, hey. Hey. Now, ho. Ho. Now, hey. Hey. Ho. Ho. Hey. Hey. Ho. Ho. That whole time, not one of you thought about the coronavirus. And that's on you. So yes, everybody, laughter is the best medicine because it's the ultimate distraction. Like, would the bubonic plague have been that much of a thing if they'd have had TikToks? I mean, yes, it would. But at least it would have made the olden days less boring. Like, what else did they have going on? Poems? I don't know. Anyway, sorry, I'm aware there may be a bit of a language barrier going on. Yes, I am Northern. Sorry to you all. At the word Northern, half of the room just shot up like this, like, good heavens, Jasper, the state schoolers have made it to Cambridge too. It's the same half of the room that, like, if I put a top hat on you, you just become the owner of a Victorian warehouse by default. You're just eyeballing me now, like I'm one of the weeping angels from Doctor Who. Don't blink or she'll organize a trade union. But yes, laughter is the best medicine as a Northerner. And I don't mean in the way that if the alumni of this grand institution get their way in the next few years, laughter will be the only medicine we can afford. Hey, no. No, I mean in the sense that as a Northerner, medicine, going to the doctors, a sign of weakness. Thank you very much. If you sustain a weak to mild to moderate to severe concussion on the playground, you will accept that wet paper towel from the dinner lady and you will be grateful for it. If you break your elbow, like my father did in 2011, you will not seek medical advice for at least 2 working weeks because you may hope, as he did, that you could just walk it off. I know how tragic Northerners think elbows can walk. Oh. But yeah, Cambridge has changed me since the day that I left. And that day, oh, I remember it well. I woke up, I climbed out of my mine, I said goodbye to my 4 grandparents all sleeping in the same bed. I gathered up my belongings into a handkerchief, slung it onto my back on a stick, and I trotted on down to Cambridge. Rolling a hoop with a stick with me next to me all the way. But yeah, it's changed me now. The middle classes have gotten to me because I'm afraid to say that now I'm a hypochondriac. What could be more la-di-da than going to the doctors when there's no illness even there? And to explain my hypochondria, I'd like to perform a song for you. A song which details how my Google search history looks more like Dr. Frankenstein's dream journal. Okay, here we go. I'm a hypochondriac, what's the cause underlying? I want WebMD to say that I'm not really dying. Come on everybody, it's the hypochondriac song. Sing along if you know the words. I'll warn you, the lyrics do not scan easily, but let's get those knees slapping. Here we go, are we ready? The verse is beginning. How long should a cold last? What are the symptoms of TB? Do I have a kidney stone or do I need a wee-wee? What is that pain in my head? Will tumours kill me over? Do my friends all hate me or am I just quite hungover? Here we go, everybody. Let's increase the tempo. Yes, there are more verses. Check for melanoma. Oh shit, is that a raised mole? Oh no, I see it's moving. It was just some melted Rolo. I have got an itchy tit. Is it just some eczema? Gwyneth Paltrow says my bra gives me stage 4 breast cancer. She's complicit in misinformation of the masses. People die. Why am I so fucking tired? Anemia or depression? Is it an hemorrhagic stroke like Logan had in Succession episode 1? Why am I so fucking tired? Acid reflux just won't stop. Is it a doctor telling me you're just bored? Yeah, it's just like a hobby of mine now to self-diagnose. But it does make me wonder, like with all of this Googling of different symptoms, because now people have access to your search history, like MI5, that MI5 man watching you through your webcam, monitoring everything you do, and the idea doesn't so much scare me so much as make me think, could he give me a second opinion as to whether I have typhoid fever? Like, yeah, and speaking of surveillance, at this point I wanted to insert a little joke about Mark Zuckerberg, because he fucking deserves it. But I couldn't decide on just one, so I decided to use all of them. So brace yourselves, here we go. Mark Zuckerberg looks like the character Moonface from the Faraway Tree Stories. But if the character Moonface from the Faraway Tree Stories was tattooed upon the hairless calf of a man with a calcium deficiency. I don't have an air horn, so this is what we're going to make do with. Roasted. Mark Zuckerberg looks like if you face blended Elon Musk with the abstract concept of disappointment. But then if you took that face blend to one side and just replaced it with a warm Baby Bell. Roasted. Mark Zuckerberg looks like if a tooth had a soul. Okay, enough of that. So I think we can say that laughter is the best medicine because most of the time we, and by we I do mean I, most of the time we aren't actually sick. But if laughter is the best medicine, what are we going to prescribe for laughter? Some might say a comedy club. Some might say a fun night out with friends. I say the Mumsnet thread entitled Wank Sock, a true thing or an urban myth. And yes, oh boy, we are going to read some excerpts from that tonight. Strap in. Firstly, we have user, yes, I know it's gross. Oh, the foreshadowing. A rare male voice in this thread saying, quote, I still do use a wank sock. Stick it out over when you're just about done, and voila. I think the most audacious use of the word voila this house has ever heard. User 2, the rest of my life is waiting, who says, my dear husband uses wank socks. He uses them to catch right at the end, I believe. This is despite me placing a basket of muslin cloths in a wicker basket net by the bed. An interesting contribution from the Ocado customer demographic there. And finally, Oxford Union, finally, we have user Life is Sweet, who says, my mum's friend got so sick of her son leaving deposits everywhere as a teenager that she knitted him a little mitten to mop up after himself. She then washed it weekly and put it on his bed all nicely ironed. Yes, thank you. And now, Oxford Union, I just want to conclude, for Northerners, hypochondriacs, and everyone in between, laughter is the best medicine, especially considering that however sick you are, At least you're not as sick as the guy sitting down every week to spaff into a mitten knitted by his mother. Thank you.